and welcome back to Merseybeat Gardening. In the shadow of John Lennon's old school, which is just over there. Anyway, got any weed? Do you cut your own grass? This is what we need to know. This is a new series on weeds and the problems we have with weeds on our allotment site. So I thought I'd start off with perhaps the most tenacious weed known to man, and certainly known to this plot here. And it's a problem that we've had for almost 30 years, coping with this weed, this damn weed that we spend all our time, all our life pulling up, basically. So it doesn't encroach too much on our growing area, because if we left it just 12 months, it would probably cover the entire allotment site everywhere. It's so tenacious, and it's basically this. Yeah, it's grass. Horror, shock. Have you got any of these on your plot? Any grass? Well, you're bound to have grass, but have you got this type of grass? This is known as couch grass. And couch grass on this plot has been the bane of our life since we took it on 30 years ago. The problem with couch grass is, it is in my mind a weed, because a weed is any plant that's in a place where it shouldn't be. But it's a very tenacious weed, and what I mean by that is it will invade any space, and it has several methods of doing that. Now, grass is perhaps the most successful of all plants growing on planet Earth, on the surface of the earth, because it grows everywhere. You get grass savannas and meadows, and there's thousands upon thousands of different types of grass. Some grass is not invasive, by the way. Decorative grasses. I'm quite a fan of grass, actually. We grow a lot of decorative grasses at home, but we usually grow them in pots. But there are types of grasses that aren't invasive. This one is, and it is a nightmare to try to control. Couch grass. Traditionally, it's considered a weed due to its spreading habit. It has a way of spreading itself using rhizomes, which are underground shoots and roots, which will go usually in a straight line from the parent plant. Say if this was a parent plant, it would come out in all directions. And these underground rhizomes will then sprout up more grasses and more grasses, usually in a straight line. And you can see them as they grow. You know, you can clear your bed and you think you've got all the roots out, and there will be a line of grasses starting to grow very fast. It's a very fast growing plant. Years ago, there was a thing here on the allotment site to say that you couldn't, it was forbidden to use rotavators, because people just used to use rotavators, and I've still seen them doing it recently, actually. People on various allotments plots around here using a rotavator, and what a rotavator does is it cuts up them rhizomes underneath the soil. And for every little rhizome you've got a new plant, because the only way you can control couch grass is to get all the roots out, basically. So to garden all the roots out when you're weeding, and that will control it for a while. It won't stop it, but it will control it for a while. So luckily for us, they're not deep-rooted. These grasses are not deep-rooted, so you don't need an excavator to get the roots out. They're quite shallow, near to the surface, and you can easily get them out with continual weeding. Now, this is a job that every gardener knows about weeding. We have to weed our plots to help our crops to grow. So what are the benefits of having couch grass on your plot? Because it's not all a bad thing. Couch grass isn't the demon that you may think it to be. Although we have a problem with it, and it is invasive, and it grows to about, if you let it go, it grows to about 3 foot tall, over 3 foot tall. And usually the grasses are formed at the end of summer, and into the autumn you get the seeds. It's very beneficial to have it on your allotment. You don't have to get rid of it. Just because it's a weed doesn't mean you have to kill it with weed killer, or weed killer's not going to work on this, to be honest, because there is no specific weed killer that can just focus on grasses. You would have to use a weed killer that would virtually kill everything, and that includes any plants that you want growing in that area, because they're so tenacious. These are very beneficial to wildlife, and if you're interested in biodiversity, you should keep couch grass. Now, we've got couch grass going all the way around the plots, on paths, and even on our own paths in the thing. We don't get rid of it all. It's pointless trying to dominate this species, because you'll never do it. All we'd have to do is learn to live with this weed. And that's what we do. We live with the weed. It's important for butterflies and moths. It's an important food source for biodiversity. Butterflies and moths depend upon couch grass as a food source. So it's important from that point of view. Couch grass is an important food for wildlife, and it can look attractive in meadows and on lawns. It can be an attractive species in its own right. And a lot of gardeners now are considering couch grass as more of a wildflower than a weed. So it can be both, because a weed is a matter of an opinion what a weed is, isn't it? Absolutely. Couch grass didn't earn its reputation as a weed for nothing. It is invasive, but luckily for us, it's not deep-rooted. The new plants are easily removed if spotted early on, and the plants produce a relatively small number of seeds at the end of its growing season, approximately about 30 seeds per flowering stem. So you don't need to get rid of it, just learn to live with it. Have uncultured areas around the garden or allotment site, and it will support wildlife and biodiversity, and that's what we do. We live with couch grass on a day-to-day basis. Just because it's a weed doesn't mean we have to destroy it. It has a beauty of its own right and deserves to live just like every other living thing on earth. So that's the first one in the series, is couch grass. I hope you've enjoyed this vlog, and I hope you'll give weeds a bit of respect that they deserve, and yeah, just as long as you get all the roots out, just try and get all the roots out, and you'll be all right. And you know, it won't do. If you just take the grass off the surface, you've still got the problem of the roots underground, which will come up again and again and again and again. So yeah, if you've enjoyed the vlog, then please give us a thumbs up, give us a like, press the notification button so you'll get notifications of new videos. Give us a comment, share on your social media. Keep on watching Merseybeat Gardening for all your hints and tips and entertainment from the shadow of John Lennon's Oscar, which is just over there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in another vlog. Bye for now.